Okay, hello everybody, it is Tito Capote and we're back with more Dragon Ball FighterZ content, and today we are going to be doing I don't know guys, we're going to be doing some more tutorial type stuff. So I'm going to teach you a bit more about defense in this game. I feel like there isn't like there is stuff online about this, but like it's nothing too in-depth, and defense is more like, it's a bit more complex than I can sort of like explain, and there's different situations where like different stuff happens, but I can teach you a lot of like stuff that like you'd have to find out by yourself, and I'll just tell you about it and how to do stuff and whatever. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna start off with what you're gonna want to do when you're on the defensive. So I'm gonna change the enemy, so we're gonna standing, guard all, switch. So you see here, I can hit him low, but I can't hit him high because that's where he's blocking. So one thing about this game that I've explained in other videos is that this game does scaling a bit different than other games. So in this game, every move you hit has a different sort of scaling factors, so different moves do more can lead to more damaging combos, even if they are longer or shorter. So like if you start off with the standing light, it'll do a lot less damage than if you start off with a low medium, and that's just the way it works. And if you start off a combo with a forward medium, or 6M as we call it in the FighterZ universe, it'll because it's not hard to block, but it's hard to react to sometimes. So they take that into account and they make it do less damage, and that's sort of how they balance out how difficult it is to block things and how like you can catch people off guard. For example, command grabs usually scale really low. They don't really do that much damage. So you'll see like command grabs, you can't do much off of them because they're just like, I don't want to say cheap, but they're hard to block. They're tricky moves. Like they don't want to make them too overpowered, because if you could do the same amount of damage as a normal combo and you're just like command grabbing, it's something that they can't block, right? They can only like jump out of it, and most people aren't going to be wanting to jump out just like predicting the combo, because that they'll get hit and it'll do a lot of damage, especially at high levels. So scaling is really important, and that plays a big part into what you're going to do in blocking. So most of the time, you're not going to want to do what this guy's doing. You're not going to want to stand guard. So you're going to want to guard. You're going to want to guard, but you're going to want to crouch. You're going to want to do the low blocking most of the time that you're blocking, mainly because it blocks 2 of the 3. Well, the other one blocks 2 of the 3, but it blocks the ones that do the most damage. So a light starter and a medium, preferably a low medium, because you can actually do combos off of it and you can get more off of it than you could off of like basically anything else. That's the best starter, is the low medium starter. Unless you want to go into EX moves, then those scale just as well as a down 2M or down medium. You can look up the notations in another place. I just know 2, which is down, and 6, which is forward, because that's just what people say online, and that's what I've been accustomed to. But you're gonna want to block low most of the time, mainly because it does the most damage. It's the most threatening. It's the one that like people can do the most. That was a command grab. That wasn't. Okay, never mind. So here you can't block overhead, which is mainly 6M, which is forward medium, and the jumping heavy, which is what you're going to want to do most of the time. You can do mediums, you can do lights, but the jumping heavy gives the most hit stun, which lets you do the most stuff off of it. So like here, like, I'm going to time it. But you see, you can't do that into a 2M, but you can do a heavy into a 2M. So like it's mainly to block the overheads. You're going to want to react to it, because like you can't, like there is a startup, right? That's quite a bit of startup. It's 24 frames of startup, which is faster than most moves. See, the lights is 6, The down meat is 10, the ki blast is 13, the heavy is 14. So that's basically double of any other move, except for like special moves and stuff, because that one has a 30 frame startup. It's like, it gives you the chance to react to it, right? And the jumping medium, the jumping heavy, it's basically the same because you do have to jump and then go into it. So you're gonna want to try to react to those. And honestly, just like other fighting games, this game rewards reaction time. If you have bad reaction time, that doesn't mean you can't be good at the game. That just means you have to like sort of think a little bit more, think of what they're going to want to do, think of what they're like, what's the most likely scenario. And that's hard to do because some people like me, I am a strong believer that the more stupid you play, the harder it is to play against you, because you're like, your enemy's just like, why the hell would they do that? What just happened? Like, he just did the stupidest thing. And it ends up working most of the time because they don't expect it. Like, recently I won a game by just, he was on hard knockdown, so I had the advantage, so I could have done like whatever. But I ran up and then did the shoulder, and he woke up level 3, and I would have caught him if I didn't 2M, but like, I don't know, it worked out so much better that I did the shoulder, because it doesn't miss timing as much, and it's like they missed their shot, right? So it was pretty cool, and that's just an example of like playing stupid is actually really helpful. But or raw level 3ing, sometimes it's like, it's not a smart thing to do because it's so punishable and it's so obvious, but sometimes it's just good. But yeah, you're gonna want to go low most of the time. Yeah, you can get hit by overhead, but again, that does less damage than the low does. Like, you just want to protect yourself from, because if a lot of times, especially at higher levels, there are these things called TODs, which is a touch of death, which means you lose your entire health bar in one combo. That's 100% damage, or even more sometimes. Those usually start off with either a 2M or a heavy, and it sucks when that happens. So you want to protect low just because you don't want that to happen to you, right? So that's a lot. Like, you're gonna want to try to block low and then react to everything else. React to the command grabs, react to the overheads, react to the everything. And most people won't go into a jumping overhead. They'll go into a cross up, which I'm bad. I'm bad, guys. I can't cross up on a ducking opponent. But yeah, see, he's ducking, so I can't hit him. But anyway, most people will go for the cross-up. They won't go for the, which is an overhead, but I can't do it right now. Here, let's do standing. I'll show you. See, there. So most people will go for the cross-up. I'm so bad. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Most people will go for the cross-up. Most people will go for the command grab. Most people will go for maybe even the dragon rush. And those are all reactable things, right? So like, you can go into kick throw, but which is it's harder to block because you don't expect it as much, or maybe you do expect it because it's a really common thing to do. But it's just, I don't know. Blocking is probably the hardest part of this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're good at blocking, you're gonna be better than most people, just because it's really hard to block, especially because it's just so nerve-wracking. And it's just so nerve-wracking, and it's like, what the hell is this guy gonna do? What's he gonna like? And when they hit you with that command grab, it's like, oof, you know? Because you do want to you don't want to be blocking. You always want to look for a way to get out, and I'm going to explain that in a bit. But actually right now, this is leading into that. But so you're always going to want to look for a way to escape. So usually, I'm going to put him to block all. I'm going to switch. So usually, when people attack you and you're blocking, what they're doing is called a block string. Which is a string is just a combo. A string is a combo, but a block string is a combo that you do while the other person is blocking. So most people will do this variation and then other stuff, and cover themselves with assists. Or like they'll do something like that, and then yeah, Dragon Rush. Most people, a lot of the most common thing you'll see is just something that switches sides or something that like breaks defense. So you're gonna see a lot of like covering with it. That's not what I wanted to do. You're gonna see a lot of this. That wasn't right. And then something like that, or something like or people doing like something like that. Just something that catches you off guard. It's just, I don't know. Blocking block strings is really, you gotta look for ways to get out. Usually what people do, honestly what I do, which I shouldn't do, but I do, is I mash vanish. Because if it can get you punished. If you do mash vanish, it can be bad, because sometimes the startup, you get hit while you're starting up the move, which is, it's a pretty fast startup. It's just that like when you're ducking you can get hit, but besides that it's invincible. Like you see that like half a millisecond where you're ducking, that's when you're vulnerable. And you're not going to want to do this often. You're just going to want to do this against a person who has a lot of openings in their block strings. So like people who do like stuff like that, or like stuff that takes a long time, or if they're going to do like a command grab. If you know they're going for command grabs are usually very slow because of how powerful they are. That's how they balance them out. And so you're gonna so here I'll show you what that looks like. So he's gonna go counterattack. He's gonna press X. So he's gonna, see, he can hit me out of it. There's a chance for him to get out because the move is slow. It's the same thing with Goku Blue's auto combo. Like if they have the reaction time to do it, if they know what's coming, but also that's risky because people might switch it up. If they've been going for auto combos a lot, like they could do that and cover it with an assist, and like you get hit. Or they could go for a low, or they could go for a 2M, which sometimes, depending on the character, Broly's lights are slow, so they will get hit by the 2M, but most characters' lights are faster, so they won't. It's a matter of how much you trust yourself and how much you, honestly, I want to say trust your opponent to like not mess up, but which is honestly a big part. Sometimes you trust your opponent and they drop the combo and you're like, well, I trusted you and you betrayed my trust, and it's like, I thought you were better than this. But that happens a lot to me. I'm just like, sometimes I just flat out let go of the controller because I think it's done, and then I lose the game anyway when I could have had a chance to win. But anyway, yeah, so it's like you want to look for the openings. I'm also going to show you the vanish option, which is this one. So like, see there, but you can also get punished. Oh, you apparently not. You can get punished if they're expecting it, or if, see, you can get like, you can cover it, and it gets you in the same position you were before. And also vanishing spends a bar, so you got to be mindful of that. If it, like, especially being put under pressure is not the worst thing in the world. It feels like hell because it's just stressful. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here. I want to be attacking. Attacking is so much better. But you gotta be mindful of just like, there are easier ways. Like you can vanish, but that doesn't put pressure on you. But you can also jump. You can also jump. See, like there, it's the same thing. Maybe not against like, actually against that too. So like jumping also works, and you can jump and block at the same time. So it's like, it's a bit safer, but again, like it's it's a lot safer to jump, but it's like it's a lot harder because it does take that reaction time. And if you do jump and they're doing something you can get hit by medium when you're jumping because it counts as standing. When you're that second when you're on the ground and you're starting to jump, that counts as a medium. Or like the hitbox, if you're low enough to the ground or low enough in the air that they can hit you with a 2M or one of their, or Goku Blue has his second light is a low and it scales even better than a 2M. So it's really, you just gotta, it's up to preference. Honestly, I like to vanish because most people can't react to that vanish unless they're expecting it, which is why I don't do it as much late game. I just do it the first game or like the starting of the first game, and when I don't think they're going to expect it or when they're doing something unsafe. It's just it's a matter of experience, and you got to learn what is best for which situation. But yeah, what else? Okay, guarding against command grabs. So command grabs are you can't block them. You can't block them. They are fully unblockable. The only way you can counter a command grab is by let's get this guy to stop jumping like a crazy man. The only way you can get against command grabs is again by jumping, by punching them out of it. And you can punish command grabs with level 3s. So like you'll see, I'll show you. Okay. And there we go. So you can punish command grabs with the level 3, which is what a lot of times, especially when it's the last character and they don't have sparking, that's gonna give you a huge advantage. Mainly just because of the hard knockdown and because of the because of all the damage it does. But mainly what you're going to want is the hard knockdown. That's when you're going to want to do the level 3 as a defense, or when they're just low enough health where it'll kill, and you're seeing them, oh, they're going to do something unsafe, I'm going to prepare for it. Or if you're just dead set on doing something really stupid, you can just roll level 3 and it'll be the stupidest thing you can do. Except for maybe just stop blocking and press buttons, which I do sometimes because I'm not the brightest. But anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be that. Okay. Oh, get off of me! I don't want. Stop it! I don't want him to do that. That's stressful. Anyway. Okay. What else do we have to go through? That's a lot of it. Which is not much, but it's something that people don't really explain online. Okay, guarding against Spark. So when people are in Spark, there's a few more mechanics that you can do. So like after the 2M, you can do more stuff. You can dash in and do the lights, or actually do anything. Like you can dash in and do a medium, or you can dash in and do you can't do a heavy because it takes too much time. But also you can attack after super dash. You can do a lot of stuff. So a lot of things that people don't teach you and that you usually learn is that most people, after they spark, they're going to super dash. A lot of people do this. I do this. It's just something that it's ingrained into you because you want to take advantage of that sparking time, right? You have a limited amount of time where you're super powered up, where you have all those advantages, where you have that those extra options. So people are going to capitalize on that. They're going to want to do as much as they can on that. So that leads to people super dashing right after. Now at higher levels, people are going to do this. I've stopped doing this. I will, at least sometimes when I'm just panicking, I do it anyway, and it doesn't get punished sometimes, but most of the time it does. Because most people what they'll do after they get sparked, they're going to down tech and then down heavy, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So that's not what I want. There we go. So he's gonna spark, and most people. Oh, I didn't do it. So most people are gonna spark, and they'll down tech, and then that wasn't it. Okay, that wasn't it. So then down heavy, and that will catch the super dash. And you do have to time it a little. Sometimes they're further away, sometimes they're closer. But most of the time it will catch. And that leads into insane damage. It gives you time to do a combo. Maybe if you have 3 bars, you can level 3 and get rid of their sparking time. It's just a really, and most people on like they're not going to tell you this because I don't know. I feel like I'm making this more like stuff you should know about like defense and like how to like do more stuff. I don't know. Yeah, and what else? So again, while you're in sparking, you have, if you're defending against sparking, you're gonna want to block all the time. And when they're dashing, you want to block high until they hit the ground, because they can still do the lights, which count as overhead. So if you'll see if this guy's, that's not what I want. You'll see if this guy's blocking low, and we don't want him to switch. So if this guy's blocking low, okay, well, he will get hit by it, and I can combo off. And because the sparking, the scaling is a lot higher, so it's a lot more dangerous. But yeah, that's the thing. And also another thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna be very careful of vanishes, because vanishes, what you can do is you can hold the button and then go into a combo. So you can do that off vanish, which you can't do in normal sparking. So here, even if you hold the button, it still does just the basic kick. It'll launch them. But if you're in sparking, you can do things like an overhead and then go into a combo, which, as you'll see, does a butt ton of damage. And then they can, like, they probably won't tag in a level 3, but they could, if I wouldn't mess it up. But it's just a lot of stuff you can do in sparking. So a key point of blocking people who are in sparking is pay attention to where they are in the air as opposed to the ground, when they are in the air as opposed to the ground, because that means overheads are coming and you gotta block high, because if you don't, you're screwed. And for goodness gracious, block low when they're on the ground. Block low, because I'm gonna show you just how much damage you can do. Like, you know what? Just take my word for it, because this thing's getting long already. But you can do so much damage with a 2M starter on sparking. Like, literally, there's TODs because of 2M sparks. Like, literally, I can do a 100% combo with Goku Blue when he's in sparking and he has 2 assists. Which isn't hard to do, honestly. It's the loops. It's basically just do the loops with an assist, and then do all the do all the stuff. It's hard. You have to have more bar. You have to do a certain number. You have to have a certain number of bar, but it is not that difficult. Well, loops are difficult. Don't get me wrong. Loops are very difficult to do, especially for someone who isn't like well versed in fighting games or in fighters, who hasn't. But it can get you punished, so just always block low unless they're in the air. If they're in the air, if they super dash, if they jump, block high. But otherwise, just don't do all the crap, because it's scary. And what else? What else do we need? What else have I not covered? I've covered command grabs, I've covered sparking, I've covered... Ooh, okay. There are certain characters who can do teleport moves, or side switching moves. So Goku Blue, he's got his quarter circle A's, or his quarter circle specials, which are teleports. So you're gonna want to be careful of this. Most people do get caught by this. It is slow, but it's still like you gotta block the other side, and you don't know which side he's gonna be on, because depending on which one you do, he goes either in front or behind. And most people are going to use the behind one and then like vanish or something, because it's easier to do. Yeah, and he has, like, Goku Blue has, this move's cheap. This move is so cheap. It's so fast. It's so fast, and it like that move's not, well, it is cheap, but so it's so fast. And some characters have moves like this. UI Goku, he has a side switching move. He has that, but it's slow and it's punishable. But it's still most people get caught sometimes if they're not expecting it. They'll get caught by it. And what you're going to do against those moves is basically just reaction time. I know I shouldn't be saying this as like a tips, but Or if you see the start, if you see the move start up, be ready to block to the other side. Or like if your opponent uses it a lot, if your opponent does stuff like that a lot, which I tend to do a lot because it's just so easy to get advantage off that, especially when they're not expecting it. So like if your opponent, if you know they do it a lot, then maybe like be expecting it. Or another, like most of those moves you can jump out of, like if you like I don't know how to do it with him, but anyway, you can jump out of them. You can do a lot of, yeah, basically just jump out of them. If you don't think you can block, just jump out of them. Most of them you won't get hit by them unless they're doing it in the air, which sort of, this move kind of tracks a little, which is also kind of, this move is probably Goku Blue's best move besides the command. I think it's better than the command grab. I think it's definitely better than command grab. This move is probably the best tool in his arsenal, just because it's so fast and it does so much damage. Like you can, it's just, don't even get me on Goku Blue. I love Goku Blue. He's so fun. Anyway, so yeah, what else? Okay, starting off the game, this is probably what I should have started off with, but I'm stupid, so I didn't. Anyway, so starting off the game, a lot of characters are going to go back, but to cover yourself, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use either an assist or a move that you know is safe and that can catch them. So different characters have different things for this. For Goku Blue, usually what you're going to do is, or depending on what assist you have, if you have a beam assist, use the beam assist. It's the best tool in your arsenal for mid screen. It's the best tool in your arsenal for starting off a game, just because it gives you so much time. Like they're stuck there for a while. Like it doesn't seem like a while, but in fighting games, that is a while. It's quite a bit. And that gives you time to run up. It gives you time, if they're not paying attention, you can like 2M them. Or it just gives you time to get away and like get your stuff ready and like just be ready for the be ready for defense. If you don't want to play that offensive, that aggressive. Sorry, offensive. If you don't want to play that aggressive. Or you could do stuff like Goku Blue has the shoulder, which usually you're going to jump and do that in case they jump. If they don't, it tracks. If they do, it'll get them. With UI Goku, you have the EX dash. It's fast. It catches them. It catches most people if they try to do anything because of just how fast it is. Because it goes midstream. It goes for when you're starting off. Usually it's a bit further. Usually it's this far, but still you see it catches them. If they try to do anything, you can punish it. Unless the move is faster, which you do have to like be wary of with some characters. There are faster moves, just because that's just how the move is. Some characters have advantage over others. Some characters have super fast moves, but usually it'll catch most things. Most characters have different things to get in, like Goku Black has that. DBS Broly has his quarter circle forward A, which is the big ball of doom, as I like to call it. Trunks has his change the future attack. You've got every character has an option for starting off the game if you want to play aggressive. And you're going to want to have to defend. That's why the best option for defense is usually jump back assist. Jump back assist is usually what you're going to want to do, just because you jump, you don't get hit by lows, you're up in the air, so a lot of moves won't hit you, and the assist in case they come in, and then you can just super dash and do stuff off of it. That's why most people do have something like an assist that keeps people in place, an assist that can cover them. Which is why, honestly, I switched to C assist with Goku Blue in my new shell, because I need something to sort of lock them down and let me get in and stuff like that, you know? And Goku, yeah, every character has their own assist that works best for that. Some characters just don't, because some characters just don't have the best assist, or they have an even better assist that does something else. Like, it depends on the person. It depends on what you like. It depends on what you like to do. But all in all, you gotta just. Also, it depends on the player. A lot of the times, players have habits, stuff they like to do. So, like for me, I told you my habit is jump back assist. So most people against me, after they play with me like a game or two, they're gonna just block because they'll know they get hit by the assist if they do anything, or just like. But also, so yeah, or if some people like to do the aggressive like EX moves that do all the stuff, and you can jump out of them and then super dash and catch them. You have to time it right, because if not, then you'll just get hit anyway. But a lot of the time, if they're prone to doing that, you can just punish them and you can expect it. If not, then it's great, but well, not great. If not, then too bad. But it just depends on what your opponent does, their habits, and you're going to see this a lot, because in each game you get 3 resets to neutral, or 2 resets to neutral every time you lose, or actually depending on 2 or more resets to neutral, because every time a character dies, you get reset to neutral, and that means starting off at the same place. So you're going to learn their habits throughout one game, and then the next game you can adjust your playstyle to match that. But yeah, what else? What else do I gotta go through? It's just a more casual tutorial. It's not like one of those like pro tutorials that tell you like, oh, I've got all this ready, here are the timestamps. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm just going through just stuff that I thought I found helpful, stuff that took me a while to learn, stuff that just stuff that I think will help you if you want to get better at the game, stuff that will help you if you're starting off the game and just want to play for fun and want to just win some games. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's honestly it. Oh no, I didn't teach you how to block against super dashes. Okay, that'll be the last thing. So the blocking against super dashes is honestly, it's one of the more tricky things. It's a lot more timing based and reaction. You gotta react to the super dash unless it's something really obvious, like right after they spark, they're gonna super dash. Most of the time, unless they're higher level, then you don't really know. Unless they do have a habit of doing it, just because they know that that's what people tend to do, and they know that like they don't want to do that because they don't want to get punished and waste their sparking time. But super dash is kind of tricky to do. So I'm going to. That's not the one I want. Standing, guard all, and switch, and then we're gonna make him counterattack with a super dash. So to counterattack super dash, you gotta want to time it. Like after they start it, you're gonna want to 2H it. You can catch it with other moves depending on. Oh jeez. Okay, you can catch it with other moves depending on the character, but like with UI Goku, if you're close enough, you can catch the super dash with a light. Just because UI Goku's jab is kind of broken. But on close, you're gonna want to do it right away because they're just there. Most people won't super dash up close just because it's not a good idea. It's not something you want to do. You'd rather safe jump or you'd rather do something else. Now, I do this sometimes just as a panic thing because my fingers slipped. Why do we have 2 sparkings? Anyway, something must have happened, but I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so you're gonna just want to time it right. It's sort of like right there where you want to right after they go up, that's when you're gonna do it. So right after they go up, you see when they start going towards you, that's when they're going to do it, and that's regardless of where it is, because the down heavy usually does last for a while. It usually does last for a while, so you want to do it every time when they're starting to come towards you. It takes about like half a second for them to actually start coming. Now, it is invincible to air attack. The down heavy is invincible to air attack. So even if you're blocking, well, no, not even if you're blocking, but even if they're really close and you think they're going to hit, if you press the down heavy fast enough, it will hit. Now this does take reaction time. It does take some getting used to, especially if you're in a high pressure situation and you don't know when they're super dash. Like right now, I know they're going to super dash. I know when to press the button. But if we're just playing a game and they're just super dashing off willy-nilly, it's hard to react to it just because it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. But with most characters, another thing you can do is you can level 3. That they will get hit by it, but that's also tricky depending on the angle. And it's not something you want to do because honestly, raw level 3s are, especially when they still have sparking, it's kind of not useless because it does give you pressure and it does give you enough damage. And if they don't use the sparking, if they don't want to, you can get the character off of it. But most of the time, you're not going to raw level 3 just because it's risky. If they do block it, it leaves you vulnerable for so long. It's like minus 52. That is like that is a lot of frames. That's it. Like frames might not seem like a lot considering like each frame is like 1/60th of a second, but like human reaction time is pretty fast. And honestly, it doesn't take that long to react. Like you see there, like it just leaves you wide open. It's like, it's not a second, but it's still a long time for a fighting game. It's still a long time for in-game. Like you can do so much in half a second, or like 52 frames. It's like, all you need is to hit one move and then your combo starts, right? Because in fighters, there's no way to get out of it without them dropping the combo. Unlike Mortal Kombat or Injustice, you've got the mechanic where you can just escape out of a combo like once in a while by using your like guard meter or something. But fighters doesn't have that. So when they hit you once, that's when the combo starts. So if you do start with a level 3, or if you do a raw level 3, that's really risky because they can 2M. They can 2M. The 2M startup is like usually around 15 frames, around 12 frames. Depending on the character, of course. Some are faster than others. Some go longer than others, some whatever. But it's very punishable, especially because people usually are ready for that. People usually safe jump when they think you have enough bar to do a raw level 3. Just because the safe jump is after you safe jump you can block right away. That's not. Damn it! Get in the corner. So after the safe jump, you can block right away and it'll be good. You'll be able to block. So here I'll show you a safe jump. So here I can block. Okay, well it doesn't matter, but that's the wrong one. So here, even though I'm jumping, even though I'm doing an attack, I can block right after. It takes longer for him to start up his move than for me to block, which with normal jumps isn't the case. It's just, oh, here he goes. It's just, a lot of the times when you punish Super Dash, or when you punish anything really, you're going to want it too heavy. It's the same thing with punishing Vanish. Vanish is a bit harder to punish just because it's faster, but you can punish it with a too heavy if you have the right timing or if you know it's going to happen. Like just because it's a really obvious Vanish. Like if they're prone to vanishing in the corner, you can just wait for them. You can just like block and then do the too heavy because you're expecting it, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing with punishing vanishes and super dashes. It's just a bit harder with the vanish because it is faster. You gotta have the right reaction time. You have the right timing. And if you miss it by a little, you will get hit. But usually vanishes aren't that big of a deal unless they're in sparking. They do get pressure off. But honestly, you can get that back on depending on what characters you have and what you like to do. But yeah, I think that's all. I think that's honestly all I wanted to cover. Hopefully you guys, this was informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I'm going to try to do some character tutorials. For the characters I actually know how to use, because there aren't many. I just know how to use, like, basically it's just blue, UI, black, and Android 21. I think I'm good enough to do tutorials on. Because I want to do more in-depth tutorials. Like, most people just do, like, what are the moves, what you can use them for. But I want to do like how to do basic combos. I already did how to do loops on Goku Blue another time. Um, but yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like the video, subscribe even. And if you do want to watch more stuff, I don't have that many tutorials because I'm just not that good at the game. That's not true. I'm decent. Nah, yeah, I'm decent. I'm decent. But I have more. I have a lot more just ranked videos, a lot more just like fun stuff. I don't know, just fighters content because fighters is like the best game. And yeah, but anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a nice day.